name is Sierra Bennett. I am a junior education major at Abilene Christian University, certifying in early childhood through 6th grade. I hope through this video you are able to catch a glimpse into my math history and better understand how I hope to use my experiences to inform my future classroom. My hope is to one day be able to meaningfully engage my students with the world of mathematics. Before getting into any specifics, I'd like to compare my journey with math to a vast ocean. The ocean is full of mysteries. Sometimes the water is unclear and seemingly endless. In the same way, any math journey can seem daunting, never-ending, and at times lacking clarity. However, with the help of books, experts, and time, one can easily explore and realize the great beauty and life found within the water. As a teacher, I can provide the lens for my students that makes math seem achievable. My journey began in elementary school at Hudson Elementary. All throughout, I remember being very fortunate with the teachers I had. I especially remember my 3rd and 4th grade teacher, Mrs. Fagan. I distinctly remember her having us learn the multiplication table and play many games that would test how quick we could produce a response. Those who put forth hard effort throughout the entire week would get to pick a prize at the end. These games would always motivate me because I was very competitive. However, it did reinforce the idea in my head that as long as you could quickly produce an answer, you were fine. I also vividly remember us doing number lines on the smart board and working in a big group and then breaking down into smaller groups, which I really enjoyed. Moving into 5th grade, my teacher, Mrs. Karras, was very rigid, and I remember still performing well, but not enjoying it nearly as much. During this period in my math career, I would say the ocean was fairly calm. I had few struggles, and for the most part, I felt confident in my understanding. I attribute a majority of my confidence to the support my teacher gave me. I hope in my future classroom to give the same support and make the environment of learning fun, and if appropriate, add in healthy competition to motivate learning. As I got older, I moved to middle school, which transitioned into obviously a little harder math, but for the most part, still smooth sailing. I remember my 7th grade math teacher would drink Diet Coke like crazy, and the fact that that is the only thing I remember about math raises some serious concern about my learning that year. In 8th grade, I had a wonderful teacher named Mr. Hagley. He gave clear instruction and had a very well-organized structure to his class, which I really liked. He would also let us complete a lot of the homework assignments in class so we could ask questions and discuss with peers. I remember always being that person that people would come to with questions, and being able to teach them helped deepen my understanding even further. For my middle school years, the ocean continued to remain pretty calm. The waters were clear and there were few waves or storms. At this point, I was getting very good grades, but I still feel like I hadn't truly dived deep into the heart of math. I still had a lot of learning to come, but my outlook was positive. If I take anything away from middle school, it is that I hope to be similar to my 8th grade teacher, Mr. Hagley. I want to strike that balance between structure and organization, while also allowing time for freedom and discussion among students. This balance allowed the ocean of math that can seem so murky and confusing to be a lot clearer. Lastly, I continued on to Webster Groves High School. This is when the calm, clear ocean began to encounter some waves and even storms. My freshman year, I was placed in an honors class that moved way quicker than I could follow. The teacher seemed unwilling to help me outside of class, so after a couple weeks, I dropped into a regular class. This class was way too easy for me, so I often found myself bored and annoyed with how long we would review. My sophomore and junior year, I struggled with both of my teachers due to their inflexibility and unenthusiastic attitudes. I got lower grades than I had ever gotten before, and I felt like I left both classes more confused than anything. Thankfully, my senior year, I was blessed with my favorite teacher, Mr. Dunn. He had a natural talent for teaching and somehow made class incredibly entertaining, practical, and informative. I looked forward to going to class and surprisingly didn't even find myself bothered by homework. He was always reminding us that he was willing to answer any questions we had. His classroom was filled with mutual respect and genuine kindness. He even had us over at the end of the year to his house for dinner and games. This is a time when a lot of the daunting storms and seemingly endless struggles of math began to calm down. My high school experience definitely reinforced my belief that when teaching math, the students need to know that you truly care about them as individuals. They also need to be aware that you have an excitement for the subject. Without these things, it can be easy to be bogged down when the content gets hard and lose hope. Overall, although math was fairly smooth sailing for me, I know it won't be for all my students in the future. I hope to be the person that is able to make a large, scary ocean seem a little less intimidating. Through interactive activities, a balance between structure and freedom, and an instilled respect and genuine concern for my students, I want to lead them to mathematics success.